Hello, my name is Calla, and I am a new DHH outreach specialist for the West Virginia Schools for the Deaf and the Blind. Our team has decided to create a series of videos to help you guys while you are at home to learn some sign language. We've broken those videos up into groups like the ABCs, numbers, colors, animals, household objects, family. But as you watch them, if you can think of any other categories that you would like us to include, please leave comments or let us know, and we'd be happy to make some additional videos. Today, we are going to start with the ABCs. ABCs are important to know because you'll need to know how to finger spell in certain situations. You might not know the sign for a word, so you can finger spell it instead. And when people introduce themselves, they will typically spell their name like I did and then provide their sign name. Same when you introduce yourself, you should sign your name to them, finger spell it. So you'll need to know your ABCs for a variety of reasons. So we're going to start with that today. A is a closed fist. Make sure your thumb stays on the outside. A. B, all four fingers up, thumb goes in. For the majority of your letters, your palm is going to face out. There are a few exceptions, but most of the time your palm is facing out. C, so this is kind of one of those. This palm is facing to the side, but you'll also find that with letters, oftentimes the finger spelled version looks like the actual letter itself. So C looks a lot like a C. D, all of these three fingers from your middle finger to your pinky, come down and touch your thumb. Pointer finger sticks up. D. And you should sign with your dominant hand. I am right-handed, and there are two-handed signs, but when you're doing things like ABCs or one-handed signs, you should use your dominant hand. So I am right-handed, so I'm signing with my right hand. E. This is called an open E, and you may see variations. Some people will close their E more and put the top of the fingers against the thumb. But I feel like that is harder to read and looks a lot like an S, especially if the person is fingerspelling very quickly. So leaving it open makes it easier for the other person to read, in my opinion. So you might see E or E. F. G, all of these three fingers close in, your palm twists and is actually facing you. Your thumb stays out like that, and G. I'm trying to show it to you from a different angle. G. H is very similar to G. You just bring out your middle finger. So you had G, and now this is H. I, and I have to catch myself there. My thumb sticks up a little bit. I don't know if some people maybe tuck it under to make it clear or if they just forgive the I, because this is why. So you don't want to let your thumb really hang out there on an I. And I have to watch myself on that one. So I is just the pinky I. Wait a second. It's not going to work out. Why is J backwards? But it wasn't before. Anyway, okay. J. So you're an I. And then you just basically draw a J in the air with that same pinky. J. K. Middle finger should slightly move forward. Not everybody will do that, but this is V. So if you don't, with K, you put your middle finger up in between, and I kind of put the middle finger just a little bit forward, K. L. M. Again, this is one that you will see in a few different ways. I do an open M, so it's these three fingers, your thumb goes underneath, and I keep my fingers straightened because I feel like that is easier to read and distinguish between a lot of the other closed hand letters. So if I would go like this, which some people do with M, you can still tell it's an M right now in isolation, but if it was combined very quickly with other letters, you might mistake it for a T or an N or an S. So there's a lot of those signs that those letters that will be hard to read. So to make them a little clearer, that's what I do. But you should recognize all forms. So this is M. N. 2 fingers instead of 3, like with M. N. O, another one of those ones that looks just like the letter itself. P is a K flipped upside down. So when we did a K, we had our 2 fingers here, we put our thumb in between, and we took this middle finger and pushed it forward just a tad. Now just twist your wrist and flip it upside down, and you have a P. P. Q is our G. So for G, you had these 2 fingers, and they were like this. The rest of the fingers were tightened into a fist. For Q, you again just kind of flip it upside down. So you're going to twist your wrist, and that's your Q. R, these 2 fingers twist, and the rest of the fingers kind of just stay down and out of the way. S, make a fist, and the thumb goes on the outside of the rest of the fingers. Remember, this was our A, so for S, we need to bring our thumb down in front. T, same deal here as our S, but this time we stick our thumb under our first finger, our pointer finger, for T. U, again, I feel like looks a lot like a U. Just those 2 fingers get held up, U. You separate those 2 fingers then to make a V, which also looks just like your V. W. This one can be a little hard to get your fingers to comply with, but hold that pinky down but with your thumb. Get those 3 fingers up in the middle. W. X. So all these fingers are going to come and make a fist, and then your pointer finger is going to kind of crook like a question mark almost, the top of one. X. Y. And with Z, you just take your pointer finger and draw a Z in the air. So some good ways to practice finger spelling. If you're out taking a drive with your family, but not getting out of your car and socializing, I used to like to try to finger spell signs, road signs, exits, license plates. We will do a video on numbers, so then that will really help you with exit numbers and license plates. can start to try to practice finger spelling your name and the names of people in your family. And just in general, practicing getting fluent with those ABCs. So, good luck.